Okay, so tell me about why it's important for hospitals to have open networks.
Well, I think the hospitals, along with every other organization, should be allowing their employees to get out and engage with people while at work on social networks. There's really 4 reasons that are cited for why we don't allow employees out, why we block access. The first is the fear that employee productivity will dive. In fact, the research from a number of sources says exactly the opposite. It says that productivity will go up. One study says 9%, another says 33%. But all of the research, and this is all academic research, indicates that productivity is going to go up. Regardless of that, you have to consider what really is productivity. Is work getting done? What about people coming in early and staying late? What about people taking work home? A lot of issues to look at. There are people out there creating a lot of fear around this, mainly because they sell the systems that block employee access. The second issue that we deal with is security, the fear that allowing people to go to these places is going to introduce viruses and malware and bots and the like onto the system. My view is that if the Department of Defense, which has to have the most secure system imaginable, is able to open up their networks to their staff, whether it's a colonel in the Pentagon or a private in Afghanistan, so that they can go out to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and the like without infection being introduced to their systems, anybody else can do it too. It's a matter of having the right software on the network and on the individual computers and making sure the definitions are updated all the time, granular access issues and the like, but it can be done. There are a lot of big organizations with open access that don't run into these kinds of problems. The third issue is intellectual property. The people are going to say things that they shouldn't, that they're going to violate regulations. I sort of lump this under the loose lips category. But if you're looking at HIPAA as an issue, for example, well, first of all, there's nothing to stop somebody from going home and posting on Facebook when they're not in the office. It's really an issue of training. I mean, HIPAA can be violated anywhere, in an elevator. Most hospitals do annual HIPAA training. You just need to introduce social media as an element to that training. And the fourth issue is bandwidth, that if we have people watching YouTube videos, for example, that it's going to slow our network to a crawl. This may be true, but you also have to consider that this is the way we communicate these days. And 30 years ago, nobody ever said, I wish we could send our employees a newsletter, but we ran out of paper. They always bought enough paper. Today, bandwidth is the paper of the digital age, and you just have to make sure that you're buying adequate amounts of bandwidth. But the real issue is that once you get past these issues and start to look at how you can take advantage of the fact that employees are bringing these social graphs to work with every day, the benefits far outweigh the risks, which, as I just said, are easily mitigated. The idea that you could go to your employees in a department where you're recruiting and say, can you introduce us to people that you know who would be great candidates for this job? Or can you communicate that this job opening exists with your network of nurses or respiratory therapists or what have you? You have competitive intelligence, what people are telling you on your network about the other hospital down the road a piece. You have the ability to float your ideas and decisions by other professionals that you network with. There was a study that shows that people who are able to go out onto their social networks and float ideas and test ideas and decisions with their social media peer groups make better and faster decisions on behalf of their organizations. There's the ability to curate content on behalf of people inside the organization, so you're presenting them with the best, most relevant information to help them do their jobs. There's even just pure evangelism, going out into your community and saying, let me tell you how awesome this organization is that I work for. If you're sick, I'm telling you, you ought to come here. I work with the best people. What you get out of employees who are ambassadors for your organization, who have been trained, who know what the policies are, the benefits of that just dramatically outweigh the risks. And as I said, those risks can be reduced to virtually nothing. A lot of organizations are doing it. Yours should too.